Welcome to another edition of the Over Under Game. If you're unfamiliar with this feature that we do here on Inside the Red Raiders, it is a poster. One of our good friends, Job Burrs, longtime poster. Is a guy I've met before at a Red Raider event. Seemed like a Red Raider through and through, a really good guy. But over the years, when we ask for mailbag questions, he'll ask over/under questions. Sometimes those are part of the mailbag. Other times, when we're busier, we have a lot of questions. We'll separate them. So it's football season. We're busy. We're going to separate them. I believe they're going to be good questions because Jobbers usually ask great over/under questions, but I'm doing something different this time. This is the first time I'm going to do it blind. I haven't prepared for these. I haven't looked at these, and this was intentional. I wanted you just to give you my first reaction without researching or looking stuff up. Just this is my first reaction on over/under questions from Jobbers. All right, the first one is Texas Tech throws for 350 yards against Kansas State. I'm going to say over. Alan Bowman is leading the Big 12 in passing yards. Yards isn't a problem. Even against Kansas State, it was a very good defense. They're not going to be running, I don't believe, certainly not as much tempo as Texas and Houston Baptist did. So you're not going to get as many possessions and all that stuff. But I think Tech's got some big-time receivers, and I do believe 350 yards is going to happen. All right, Texas Tech runs for 150 yards against Kansas State. I'm going to go under. I think I can see Sir Roderick getting right around 100, and some of the other guys getting some yards, but I don't think overall the Red Raiders are going to run for over 150 yards. It's a great defensive front there for Kansas State, especially their defensive line. I just don't see that happening this week. All right, Kansas State throws for 320 yards against Texas Tech. Well, I think normally if I was doing an over-under involving Kansas State's offense in passing yards, I don't think I would say over. But look, Tech was the worst against the pass last year. They're the worst in the Big 12 against the pass so far this year. And Skylar Thompson, I think this is his fourth game against the Red Raiders, and he enjoys playing Texas Tech. I think it's because their pass defense isn't all that good. He's coming off a great game against Oklahoma, of course. I think Skylar Thompson does light Tech up for over 320 passing yards. All right, Kansas State runs for 200 yards against Texas Tech. Again, I'm going to say under. I don't know that they'll get 150. Now, of course, they have Deuce, that freshman running back. He's really good, but he's even more of he's been more of a receiving threat in terms of yardage than as a running back. But he's definitely both. He's capable of putting up big yards in both. But Tech's been pretty good against the run, even against Texas. I think they were pretty good. Look, 200 yards. I think that's way too much. Like I said, they may not even get to 150 against Tech. I think they're going to be able to line them up through the air, but not necessarily on the ground. All right, next one this is a good question. Kansas State over/under sacks Bowman 3 times. Now look, I already talked about what a great defensive front Kansas State has, especially their defensive line. They're going to get after them with 4 rushers. I think I'm going to go under. And this isn't because I don't think they're capable of it, but I think the scheme is going to be, and we saw this last week against Texas, I think it's going to be much the same, that Tech's going to get the ball out of Alan Bowman's hands really fast. I mean, definitely under 3 seconds. I think between 2 and 2.5 seconds is when they want to get the ball out of his hands. And they did I don't have the stats, but they did a really good job of that against Texas, and I don't believe he was sacked. Now, he had some pressure, and Bowman made some mistakes, but I don't think Kansas State's going to get 3 sacks. I could see 2, but I'm going to go under for that one. Texas Tech scores 35 points. Ooh, this is Tuesday when I'm recording this, and I haven't actually gotten to the point where I'm thinking about a score, so you're putting me on the spot. I'm going to say under. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game, but not by much. I think Tech does score in the 30s, but not 35. Maybe around 31 is what I'm seeing. We'll have to see. All right, Texas Tech forces 1 turnover. And this is a sore spot because the Red Raiders haven't really done a good job of forcing turnovers. Now, don't get me wrong. They recovered a muff punt for a touchdown. Alex Hogan had an interception. I think Zach McPherson had an interception against Houston Baptist. So, they have come up with turnovers, but I think in terms of getting more than 1 against Kansas State there, you know what? I'm going to say they do it this week. I'm going to say 2, that they do get a couple. but I don't think it's going to be a big rash of turnovers for the Wildcats. But I'm going to go ahead and be positive here for the Red Raiders and say they get 2. So evidently, by the way I answered this, I'm expecting a pretty good game for the Red Raiders this week. So Texas Tech and Kansas State kick off there at Bill Snyder Family Stadium in Manhattan, Kansas. 2:30 p.m. Central Time, and it will be televised on FS1. So with that, I want to thank you for watching, and until next time.